SBME Amanda, 34, HR program lead at a mid-sized tech firm. Been here about 4 years. Finally senior enough to stop just filing complaints and actually change things. So sick of watching smart women get steamrolled by dudes every day. See it non-stop. Men cutting women off mid-sentence, re-explaining stuff they clearly already know. Talking slower, louder, like they're teaching a kid. Decide enough is enough. This culture needs fixing. Spend a couple weeks after work drafting a policy. Wordsmith the hell out of it. Call it the Workplace Respect and Professional Dialogue Initiative. Corporate enough that execs won't instantly trash it. Policy spells it out. No more condescending explanations toward female coworkers. Define mansplaining as unsolicited explanations from male employees to women, especially when the woman has already shown she's competent. Add examples. Explaining software she's been using for years. Talking over women in technical meetings. Assuming women need fundamentals explained automatically. Feel proud as hell, hitting send to the entire company. Finally calling out the thing everyone pretends isn't happening. Include consequences, verbal warning, written warning, termination if it keeps happening. Set up anonymous reporting so women don't feel exposed. First week, surprisingly calm. A few reports come in. Handle them cleanly. Quiet conversations with the guys involved. They apologize. Say they didn't realize how it came off. Seems like it's working. Then the vibe shifts. Start noticing senior engineers going quiet around junior women. See Mark, lead back-end guy. Straight up walk away when Emily asks him about query performance. Tell myself he's probably slammed. Don't jump to conclusions. Then I get a meeting request. Mark, Ryan, Luke, 3 of our most senior devs, walk into the room. All 3 look pissed, arms crossed. Mark starts, voice tight. Amanda, we need to talk about your new policy. Tell them I'm open to feedback. They laugh. Ryan leans forward, face flushed. Feedback? You've made it impossible for us to do our jobs. Explain calmly that it's about respect. Luke cuts in. Respect? You turn normal interaction into a legal minefield. I can't train anyone without worrying. I'll get reported. Tell them training is clearly different, Mark snaps back. Clearly? How? How do I know when I'm training versus violating your policy? Say common sense applies. Luke scoffs. Common sense? Policy says unsolicited explanations. When I mentor Emily on microservices, how do I know she won't decide she already knew it? Starting to get annoyed? If she asked for help, you're fine. Mark slams the table. It doesn't say that. It says unsolicited explanations are mansplaining. If I explain our deployment process during a code review without her asking first, is that a violation? Realize they're playing dumb? Tell them they're missing the point. This is about stopping condescension. Ryan's voice rises. And who defines condescending? You. Some anonymous form. I've been mentoring juniors for 15 years. Never once had an issue. Now I'm suddenly dangerous. Try to cool things down. Nobody said you're dangerous. We're trying to build an inclusive workplace. Luke interrupts. Inclusive? We're terrified to talk to female coworkers now. How is that inclusion? Tell them they're overreacting. Policy is reasonable. Mark stands up. Overreacting. I have a daughter. I go out of my way to support women, engineers. Your policy makes that risky. Feel cornered. Repeat that mentoring isn't banned. Condescension is. Ryan starts firing off scenarios. If Jenna asks about React hooks and I explain them, is that mentoring or mansplaining if I tell her her solution won't scale? Mentoring or mansplaining if I correct her during a client call? Which one is it? Head pounding, completely drained. They just keep going. Context matters, intent matters, professional judgment matters. Say it slowly, like that should settle it. Luke throws his hands up. Professional judgment. Whose judgment? Yours. The person filing the report. We're engineers. Amanda. We need specs. This policy is vague. Garbage. Feel my jaw tighten. Tell him it's not vague. It's basic respect. Mark leans forward, voice flat and serious. Amanda, let me be very clear. This policy means any interaction I have with a woman could end my career. Do you understand that? Tell him he's being dramatic. Ryan's eyes light up with anger. Dramatic. I've been here almost a decade. I've trained dozens of devs, never once had an HR issue. Now you're saying explaining technical things to women could get me fired. Try again. Say the policy targets patterns, not one-offs. Luke cuts in. Pattern according to who? If I help 3 different women in 1 week, is that a pattern? If someone reports me twice, is that a pattern? Realize we're stuck in a loop. Tell them the policy isn't changing. Treat female coworkers with respect and you'll be fine. Mark stands up, face tight. You know what? Fine. You want to eliminate mansplaining. Consider it gone. I won't explain anything to any woman ever again. Assume he's posturing. Say, that's not what I'm asking. Ryan stands too. Actually, that's exactly what you're asking. You made explaining things to women a fireable offense, so we won't explain things to women. Luke joins them. Congrats. Mansplaining solved. They walk out, sit there staring at the door. That went worse than planned. Figure they'll cool off next morning. Emily shows up at my office crying. Amanda, I don't know what's happening. Ask her to slow down. I asked Mark to review my database query. He told me to figure it out myself. Feel my stomach drop. Ask for details. I've been stuck on this optimization for days. He used to walk me through performance issues. This time he just walked away. Go find Mark immediately. He's at his desk, laser focused. Mark, we need to talk. He looks up, expression in blank. What can I help you with? Tell him Emily says he refused to help. He nods. That's correct. I'm following your policy. I don't explain things to female employees anymore. Feel heat rising. You know, that's not what it means. He leans back. Actually, I've read it very carefully. Multiple times, it says unsolicited explanations to women are mansplaining. Emily didn't ask me to explain optimization. She asked me to review her query. I reviewed it. I didn't explain anything. Can't believe this. She clearly needed help understanding the performance problem. Did she say that? Did she say, please explain database optimization to me? Because if she didn't, any explanation would be unsolicited. Try another angle. This is hurting her ability to do her job? He shrugs. That sucks. But I'm not risking my career over a sloppy policy. Say mentoring isn't banned, then rewrite it until then. I'm not explaining anything technical to any woman here. Realize he means it. Go back to my office. Complaints start flooding in. Jenna can't get help with a React component. Melissa's deployment keeps failing. No one will walk her through DevOps. Rachel's stuck on an API integration that should take an hour. Call another meeting. This time, add Aaron, Mike, and Steve, more senior engineers. Room fills up. Everyone looks grim. Okay? This has gone far enough. Women on your teams need help. You're refusing to give it. Aaron speaks calmly, but tight. We're not refusing anything. We're following your policy exactly. Say the policy doesn't block helping. Mike cuts in. It says unsolicited explanations to female employees are mansplaining. How do we know when help is solicited? Feel exhausted. Say use common sense. If someone's struggling, help them. Steve leans forward. Here's the problem. Yesterday I saw Melissa breaking a deployment. I knew exactly why. If I explain without her explicitly asking, is that mansplaining? Feel like I'm in daycare? Context matters. She clearly needed help. Says, who you? Her. What if she thinks she's right? What if she thinks my explanation is condescending? What if she reports me? Mark chimes in. You've built a system where any explanation can be reported. No appeal, no objective standard, just your judgment. Try to defend it. Anonymous reports protect women. Ryan snaps. They also protect false accusations from consequences. If Emily reports me for explaining API design, how do I defend myself? How do I prove it wasn't condescending? Feel boxed in. False reports would be obvious. Luke stands up, clearly pissed. Obvious to who? You're not an engineer. Amanda, you don't understand the systems we're explaining. How would you know if my explanation of React state was fine or insulting? Get defensive? I don't need to code to recognize disrespect. Aaron's face goes red. So you're judging technical mentoring conversations you don't understand. You're deciding whether my explanation of machine learning to Rachel was okay. Feel the hit. They're not wrong, but can't retreat. Policy isn't about technical correctness. It's about respect. Mike snaps. Respect according to who? The recipient. Awesome. So if I explain microservices to Lisa, she feels talked down to. I get written up, even if she asked, even if I was professional. Try to keep my voice steady. Edge cases would be handled with nuance. Steve laughs, sharp and bitter. Nuance. Your policy doesn't say nuance. It says unsolicited explanations are mansplaining. It says reports trigger discipline. Where exactly is nuance written? Mark stands again. Amanda, let me simplify. 3 problems. 1. You don't define solicited help clearly. 2. You make women the sole judge. 3. You threaten our careers with no concrete standards, starting to lose patience. Standards are common sense and respect. Ryan slams the table. Common sense isn't a policy. I need to know exactly what gets me fired. Your policy says, explaining things to women might get me fired, so I won't explain things to women. Issue resolved. Feel like they're sabotaging on purpose. You're punishing your female coworkers to prove a point. Luke's face goes crimson. We're punishing them. You created this. You wrote a policy that makes training women dangerous. You turned helping them into a career gamble. This is on you. Try to regain control. Policy stays. Figure it out. Aaron's voice drops. Calm but threatening. We already did. We don't explain anything anymore. We answer yes or no. No elaboration, no context, no mentoring. Done. Feel ice in my chest. That won't work. Projects will collapse. Mike nods. Probably, but we'll still have jobs. And when leadership asks why delivery tanked, we'll explain HR policy prevents effective training of female staff. Panic creeping in. You can still guide them. Just be respectful. Steve shakes his head. Respect is subjective. What I think is fine. Emma might think is insulting. What Mark thinks is helpful. Sarah might report. We're not risking it. Meeting ends. They leave. Week turns into hell. Constant complaints. Women getting useless code reviews. Meetings turn silent on one side. Junior women start missing deadlines. Get summoned by my boss, VP of HR, Denise. She looks worried. Amanda, I'm hearing about productivity problems in engineering. Say it's just adjustment pains. Adjustment? I have 3 women asking to transfer. They say they can't get trained, try to minimize. Senior engineers are resistant. They'll adapt. Denise frowns. Adapt. I spoke with Emily. She says Mark refuses to explain anything technical. She's been blocked for a week. Get defensive. He's intentionally undermining the policy. Or your policy is broken. Walk me through how it's supposed to work. Start explaining the mansplaining framework. She cuts me off. Amanda, this is way too broad. Of course engineers are scared, feel betrayed. She's siding with them. This policy prevents condescension by threatening men with termination for doing their jobs. Amanda, mentoring juniors is literally in senior engineers' job descriptions. Your policy makes that impossible. Try to save it. Say we can add clarifying language. Denise shakes her head. Or, we scrap it. Engineering director is breathing down my neck. Apparently multiple projects are behind because juniors aren't getting guidance. Feel it slipping. Policy is necessary. Women have dealt with mansplaining forever. Denise sighs. And now they're getting 0 technical help. How is that better? Next week somehow gets worse. Client demo day. Jenna's React component crashes mid-presentation. Normally Ryan would have flagged it in review. Instead, he rubber-stamped everything. Client loses it. Threatens to pull the contract. Emergency meeting. Engineering director Mark and Denise. Mark looks furious. Amanda, we need to talk about your mansplaining policy. Already know I'm cooked. Say I'm open to concerns. His voice is tight. We just lost a major client because of it. Try to redirect. The failure was technical. He snaps back. A failure that would have been caught if Jenna got real feedback. Ryan didn't explain the flaws because your policy scared him. Denise nods. Senior engineers have stopped giving meaningful feedback to women. They're afraid of being reported, feel boxed in. They're overreacting to avoid accountability. Mark finally loses it. Overreacting. My whole department is breaking. Half my team can't get trained. Emily's database project is 3 weeks late. Melissa's pipeline is broken. Rachel's API work is a mess. Say it's temporary, growing pains, temporary. It's been a month. My engineers say they will never explain technical concepts to women again. Your policy makes it too risky. Denise rubs her temples. I've spoken to Mark, Ryan, Luke, Aaron, Mike, and Steve. Same story. Every time, policy is vague. Punishments are extreme. They're not gambling their careers. Get defensive. Policy clearly targets condescension. Mark explodes. Clear. It says unsolicited explanations are mansplaining. In software, most mentoring is unsolicited. I see someone struggling. I explain what's wrong. By your rules, that's mansplaining. Try to explain intent. It's about patterns. Then why doesn't it say that? Why threaten discipline for explanations? Why make women the sole judges? Feel everyone closing in. We're building inclusion. Denise looks genuinely sad. You built the opposite. Women can't get help from the most experienced people here. Mark keeps going. Do you understand the damage? Female engineers falling behind. Male engineers afraid to train. Projects failing everywhere. Last attempt. They're choosing to be obstructive. Mark fires back. They're choosing survival. Your policy threatens termination without clear rules. Of course they're cautious. Denise pulls out a folder. 12 project failures or delays, all tied to lack of technical guidance. Over 200 grand, lost, feels sick. Say it's not directly related. Mark's face turns red. Sarah told me she can't get help because Mark won't explain anymore. Melissa's deployment failed for the same reason. How is that not your policy? Realize I'm in deep trouble. Say we can modify it. Denise closes the folder. Upper management is furious. CEO is asking why HR is tanking productivity. Panic fully sets in. I was fixing a real culture problem. Mark's voice goes cold. You tried to fix a minor communication issue and created an operational disaster. My engineers won't train women anymore because you made it dangerous. Try to salvage. We can issue guidance, clarify intent. Denise cuts in. No. This policy is getting rewritten, or it's getting scrapped. Engineering department wants it gone. Denise looks me dead in the eye. Amanda, you need to grasp how serious this is. Senior engineers are refusing to mentor. Women are asking to transfer because they can't get trained. Projects are failing. We're bleeding hundreds of thousands. Execs want answers. Feel the floor drop out. What do you want me to do? Mark doesn't hesitate. Pull the policy today. Send a company-wide email saying it's withdrawn. Can't stomach it. That erases everything I fought for. Sends the wrong message. Denise responds calmly. Right now. The message is HR breaks the company. That's worse. She nods again. And it's spreading. Sales guys won't explain products to women. Marketing managers won't give feedback on women's campaigns. People are scared everywhere. Realize how big this is? That was never the intent. Mark stands. Intent doesn't matter. Results do. You created a workplace where half the company avoids the other half. Last attempt. We can revise it. Make it clearer. Denise shakes her head. Damage is already done. Engineering doesn't trust HR anymore. They told me they won't explain anything to women again. Policy or no policy, feel hollow. So what now? Mark's face is ice. Now you deal with the consequences. Exec team meets tomorrow. Go home. Don't sleep. Know what's coming. Next day. Conference room. CEO Andrew. CFO Linda. Denise. Andrew looks furious. Amanda, explain how an HR policy cost us $200,000. Try to talk about culture, patterns of condescending behavior. Linda cuts in by making it impossible for men to train women. Productivity data shows a 30% drop in female developer output. Feel trapped. Engineers are sabotaging it. Andrew raises his voice. They're protecting themselves. Your policy threatens termination for doing their jobs. Denise adds quietly. 7 department heads have complained. It's not just engineering. Linda slides financial reports over. Lost client was worth $400K a year. Demo failed because Ryan wouldn't give real feedback. Feel nauseous. Say it was isolated. Andrew snaps. Isolated. We have 3 delayed projects. 2 damaged client relationships, 12 women requesting transfers, try one last defense, I wanted inclusion. Andrew fires back, you built exclusion. Women can't get help from senior staff. Denise looks genuinely sad. The exec team made a decision, nods slowly. I know, start to speak. Andrew cuts me off. This wasn't a hiccup. It was a catastrophe. Mark demanded your removal. Linda nods. Financial losses alone justify termination. But the cultural damage is worse. Voice shaking. I wanted to protect women. Andrew finishes it. You isolated them. You made their jobs impossible. This ends now. Amanda, your employment is terminated effective immediately. Security will escort you.